Yeah, your video is crystal clear. Each that audio is a little underwatery. That's a professional podcast term, right? Underwatery.
Underwatery.
Let's maintain that turf today. Get up and brush off the dew on that turf today. Turf today. Turf today. Cut it and roll that dew on that turf today. Turf today. Turf today. Set up, they about to come through on that turf today. Turf today. Turf today. Get up. Turf today. Get up. Turf today. Let's get out the way. Here comes first play. Let's maintain that turf today.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Turf Today. We got a little bit of a fun one for you today, a little bit of an old school episode. Adam and Trevor on the mics. We are interviewing Daniel Peterson, who is the superintendent at the Paul Harney Golf Course in Falmouth, Massachusetts. It's a great interview. Daniel is a awesome guy, great leader, and a very smart man. So he's got some cool stories. I learned a few things. I hope you guys really enjoy this. Sorry that Brian can't be here. He sends his best and can't wait to get on as soon as he can. We are rolling with this thing. This is a lot of fun. It's a bit of a silly episode, as I said, a little bit of a blast from the past. Very fortunate that Trevor could come on and join me for this interview with Daniel. Man, we had a lot of fun. So we're going to jump into this thing. As you guys know, Turf Today is recorded on the Superintendent Network and is brought to you by Toro. Out here on the course, we know a good partner when we see one. Toro's been helping superintendents keep the fairways smooth, greens rolling true, and roughs looking sharp for a century. From sunrise mows to last light touch-ups, Toro's got the horsepower, precision, and reliability to keep your course playing its best. Toro, always solving, always evolving.
We are back.
What's going on, big guy?
You know,
Back in front of the microphone, eh? How's it feel?
feels like there's something big and black in front of me, and I'm a little scared.
Off to a hot start. How are you, buddy? How are things?
Busy in the best way.
That's good. That's where you want to be.
Probably the best mood I've been on this show since we started it.
Yeah,
And things
yeah. Smile on your face and everything. It's nice.
Yeah, my wife just brought me donut holes. They're already gone. They didn't last long, so that was cool.
I think we've talked about it on the show before. You have the coolest wife. So much cooler
Dude,
than you and
she was
me.
like,
Like,
dude, she's like, really? You're gonna do Terp today? And he didn't even text me to be on the show.
oh, we love you, Jacqueline. She's the best.
She sucks. Just kidding. Yeah, man, it's been getting good. Definitely cool to hop back on here and talk about my past life with people who are currently still doing it. And yeah, dude, I'm stoked. It's gonna be a good one.
Yeah.
It's just gearing up for the PGA show in January. It's
hmm
been a grind, yeah. So it's been super good. Everything's been super positive. A couple new colorways and stuff like that, and yeah, just been crushing,
I find more power built balls on the course now.
which is
It's
hilarious. Those are all by licensees. We don't do any of that stuff. That's all
that's
sport. That's all Canadian Tire and Sport Check.
nice.
Yeah, yeah. We have nothing to do with those. People pay us to put our name on stuff. So
Kind of a big
yeah.
deal.
Yeah, I mean the company it's we're celebrating a 110-year anniversary next
There
year,
you go.
so yeah, we already got some goodies rolling for it. Yeah. Well,
Nice. Nice. Oh, I like the logo too.
yeah, the logo, David, our designer, crushed it. We got some cool stuff coming for that. It's going to be the big deal at the show next year, 110 years, and yeah, I don't want to give away too much, but
Yeah, no
it's
kidding.
it's going to be cool. So I don't know how many folks listen to this show will be at the PGA show, but If you are, there is a little turf section there for sure. They definitely
Hmm.
still bring out the stuff. It's like at least twice the size of the GCSA show.
Wow.
Dude, it's huge.
There's a lot of brands, right? A lot of gear.
Dude, it's stupid how big it is. There's a lot of khakis and polos around
Oh, I
for
bet.
that.
Yeah. No,
Yeah,
I'd
I'm
imagine
like
even
the
just the amount
one
of
dude.
clothes.
I'm the one dude in the t-shirt. You know me.
Oh, yeah.
I ain't changing.
I saw one picture of you this year wearing a collar. I don't know what that for event that
That
was,
was
but
that
somebody
was the
seemed to
Nation
wear.
Desert Classic. Nation Desert Classic. The Nation Boys. They're up in San Clemente. They do their whole deal is like throwback, vintagey, the big collar cigars. Do the game
Right.
right.
Yeah.
Take your hat off at the country club. Really cool dudes. Awesome brand. Killer tournament. That was fun. But yeah, you gotta get dialed in for that. And then obviously I'll rock a collar at a country club if they require it. But
Of course. Naturally.
yeah. But that one I was gussied up. A lot of people were like, "Whoa, you clean up nice." I
Yeah,
was like,
look at you.
Does that mean I usually look like shit? Like,
Yeah. So we're gonna get into talking with the greenskeeper here, but I gotta tell you, I've been waiting to tell you this.
oh boy.
I am addicted to the hot honey. I can't
Oh,
eat pizza without hot honey now. You did this to me
you're
in
welcome.
California, and
Yep.
brother,
I told you it'd change your life.
it's so good, man. It's so
Yeah.
good. Like
It's not good on anything else other than pepperoni, though.
I could, well, maybe like a barbecue chicken, you could definitely drizzle it on parts of it, maybe even
I
just the
mean,
crust, but I've
yeah, I
been
guess
dipping
if,
it, man. That's how good it is.
yeah,
Like,
it's ridiculous. It's silly, dude. Yeah, it's unreal. It's a game changer for
it
sure.
is.
We actually had a new pizza place open up in Oceanside that's, oh, damn, it's good. And then actually up in San Clemente, again, there's a spot called Jabroni's. First off, great name. Second off, they have a killer logo. It's like a rubber hose 30s, 20s style cartoon of the pizza slice, but it's Detroit style.
Oh, okay.
Oh, it's phenomenal, dude. Oh my God. That place is unreal. I gotta take
Jabronis.
Jacqueline. Even the buffalo chicken Detroit style was just out of this world.
That good?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, because I know you didn't really like that style. Or was it
Oh,
Chicago?
no, no. No, Chicago.
Chicago.
To be fair, haven't had it in Chicago.
So that would
Not
do it, right?
necessarily, not, I'm not looking forward to it. I also hear is it's pizza soup. So could be, could be
It's
horribly wrong.
it's fork and knife
I'm
pizza.
100% going to try it whenever I get out to Chicago. But
Yeah.
I got a monster golf trip coming up. So
Oh
check
yeah.
this out. So me and Golf Scout, Ryan O'Mara, we're flying to Nashville. We're gonna stay in Nashville. First place we're hitting, take a guess.
Broadway.
No, John Daly's new bar. Boom. So staying the night in Nashville. Then we're driving down to South Pittsburgh, Tennessee, Sweetens Cove. So we're gonna be at Sweetens for 2 days. We're gonna do a practice round, chill, hang with the boys, and then we play the Blackjack Open tournament, which is supposed to be insane.
Wow, dude,
From
that's fun.
there, oh, we're not even done, bro. That's just the tip. Just get ready for the shaft. From there, we go up to Kentucky. We're gonna play Park Mammoth. I put it up on my Larson Instagram page, and no less than 15 people said go to Park Mammoth. Go to Park Mammoth. All right, cool. We're gonna go play Park Mammoth then. So from Park Mammoth, we go to St. Louis, and we'll play somewhere in St. Louis. Then we go to Kansas City. From Kansas City, we go to home. We end up in Homer, Nebraska. We'll be at Landman for 3 days.
Dude,
Yeah, and then
how's your
from
back gonna be like holding up with all this?
I'm not old, dude. I can play fucking golf. But yeah, and then there's still a small chance that from there Ryan will go home. I might change my flight, head over to the Chicago area, and go play in the field day persimmon event that they have like the day after.
And then you'll get your Chicago style pizza. It all works out.
Yeah, yeah, just about.
So apologies, Brian's not with us. He's at the BMW, Caves Valley. Everything's kind of going crazy over there. So
Yeah.
Trev had a few hours for us. He figured I'd bring him on, and always nice to have two people on here kind of steering the bus. So yeah, so a little bit of a surprise for you, but it'll be the show
That's right.
today.
Awesome.
I
Great
work the
prize.
pedals, he steers.
Yeah, it's a two-man operation.
Yeah, my legs are usually up by his. Never mind.
Mm.
But yeah,
Yeah.
joining us from Falmouth, Massachusetts, Paul Harney Golf Course, the golf course superintendent, Daniel Peterson. Welcome to the show, brother.
Thank you, guys. Been looking forward to it.
Why don't you get us started here? Just go back and kind of tell us about getting into the industry.
So I started off really young. The club of my hands, I was 4 or 5 taking lessons. Not seriously, I didn't have an Earl Woods in my life, unfortunately. Um, it went the other direction. Um, but I always loved golf courses. My mom worked bartending while I was growing up. I was an elf for a few years at one of the country clubs around here when I was younger and could still be persuaded to do that kind of thing. And then fast forward to, I'm working in high school. I needed a job that I wasn't going to hate. I was at a grocery store. I complained enough to my mom that she reached out to a friend and said, if you fuck this up, I'm going to kill you. And lots of people are going to kill you. And, I must have taken it to heart because I worked at Pocasset for 15 years. There was a few years in the middle there that I had to leave because there was no full time opportunity. I needed insurance. I was, on my way to getting married and, we needed to change things up. And then I got a phone call one day from the previous superintendent. He said, "Hey, Dan, you want to get back in the industry?" The next morning, I was in my boss's office saying, "I'm very sorry, but I have to leave you. I have to put in my notice." And a month later, I was back working at Pocasset as second assistant and then moved up to assistant position. And then I just took the superintendent position a little over a year and a half ago.
Dude, it's the way to climb that ladder. I mean, as I've pushed in the show previously, it's always the hard workers are going to get the phone calls. Like your work's going to stand out. You're going to get that opportunity to crush it, and you can move right up the ladder like you just did. That's awesome. Now, did you take it by force or did he retire?
So
Stupid
I
question.
took the superintendent job because somebody left, but up until then, it was pretty forceful. I
Ooh,
I made no bones about what I wanted, and
good,
I
good.
mean, because early on, I came from a not the richest background, and I was looking at just the 40-hour a week guys as like life goal. Like I could be that, not necessarily sitting on a mower because we, had more staff. We had guys doing all sorts of stuff, and I definitely saw that, but I never saw like assistant or superintendent or any of that in my future. So once it kind of clicked that that was possible, and I could take these steps and put myself out there, and like it has just been a wild ride of just like I'm taking this since.
So at what point did you have to look at things and go, okay, I need to go back to school and learn a couple of the things and get a certificate? What point did you decide to do that?
So that was part of the conversation I had when I was brought back into the industry. So they created a position for me at Pocasset, the second assistant, and they had never had one before. If I went back to school, if I got my pesticide license, yada yada yada, if I met these metrics, then I would get that title. And I mean, it didn't take very long. And then it comes to like, hey, can I get more money? And that guy retires. There's a new guy, and it's hey, can I get more money? He's like, no, not a ton of wiggle room in the budget. And I'm like,
Yeah.
well, then what about a title? And he's like, you know what? I think we can actually do that. And so then that got an assistant position on the resume. So they're two separate things. I'm now teaching more. I'm you know getting employees. I'm just doing more. I'm going to the meetings. I'm coordinating with the pro shop. I'm in it. And just from there, I knew I could do the job of superintendent. I mean, obviously, there's so much involved with the job um, that you can only really know for sure if you do it. And I've learned a lot in a year and a half.
There you go. I mean, that's like such a good way to do it too, is just pushing the like when you're in the lower spots, pushing the superintendent. Hey, I want to do this. I want to do this. Setting a clear goal really gets in their mind. All right, this dude wants it. And then when you go to him, you go, oh, I want some more cash. Yeah, we can't do it. And then you push title, dude. It's the best way to do it. I mean, one, it's going to show the board that they got, all right, cool. So we got someone who's on deck basically, and that super is just going to give you those responsibilities and you take them and run with it. And then you clearly get to where you're at. Tell us a little bit about your course. You guys public, private? You guys do any big events, stuff like that?
So we're a public executive plus like two. It's like a 63 or a 64 par, depending on where you're
Those are my
playing from.
favorite courses. I love
Oh
courses
my
like that.
God. Yeah. No, it's awesome. It's so, all right. Well, let me back before I get, motor mouth here.
Fire
So,
away, man. Fire away.
so
Rev that
Paul
engine.
Harney is one of the better golfers that ever existed in Massachusetts. Now, obviously, Massachusetts has produced some of the best golfers that have ever been seen. So obviously, that's a tough list to crack. He won, I believe, 5 Mass Golf championships. He's played in huge tournaments. He won the LA Open back in the day. I mean, he was on the tour. He was winning money, doing the whole thing. He built this golf course. A few holes at a time every time he won, and eventually came up with the 18. It's a long par 4 to start off, and it's really cool because they ended up getting some land that lengthened the hole, but they never took out the berm off the back of the green. So at the tee, you're looking at a flag stick and a berm, and you're thinking like the whole time that's my target, but it's really 60 yards behind that. And it's just a cool course. It was built into the landscape. It's very hilly, for a short course, but it's not exactly a, down and back, down and back, down and back, down and back executive. It's got some really cool character to it. It's got a big, juicy dog leg right that people just spend all day hitting balls out of the woods because they refuse to hit it straight and then hit a second shot into the green. And then it's got 3 par 3s in a row that range from 90 yards to 210 yards.
Woof.
So, you're not playing cookie cutter every hole. We get a lot of people playing for the first time. We get people who are just playing a couple rounds because the private club they belong to is having a member guest and the place is packed out. And so they come over to us. Cape Cod's pretty small. There's only 52 golf courses between the main Cape Cod area as you think of it and Nantucket, Martha's Vineyard. If you took off Nantucket and Martha's Vineyard, you're in the 40s. So, one golf course not having any openings pushes people to all the others, which I think is cool. And I think teaching, I mean, obviously, I said I started really young. I love seeing kids out there learning, how to play. I can just see, like, whether they're good or they're bad or they're indifferent, like, just being out there. Any one of my friends I taught how to play golf, they all wish they had started sooner. Anyone who starts later, number one thing I hear from them is, oh man, I don't know why I didn't start sooner. So a bit about Paul Harney.
Heck yeah. I mean, golf's cool again. So,
Oh,
more people are getting
Mhm.
out. I love seeing the kids out there playing
I'm
and
the
doing
same.
that stuff too. It's like the coolest thing. And then the golf bags are adorable. So it's like,
Yeah,
if you
I know.
come.
So many brands now are making golf clubs for kids and bags and gear and everything. I love it. I can't wait
Well,
to get my
that's
kids into it too.
that's huge. I mean, it's not uh, for women. It's huge. It's not just pink hats. It's full. It's fully open to everybody, and I love it. It's such a good activity, sport, whatever, like however you want to categorize it, that you can carry through your entire life. Rich, poor, and everyone in the middle can come play golf. I've seen 3 people passing, thrift store old Tom Morris walking bag back and forth with some wood sticks in it, just whacking it down the fairway. And
That's
I've
what's up.
seen, people pull up in the $150,000 Range Rover to just, play a quick round before they have to go do, big important stuff. I don't know. Like, I love it. I love golf. When I truly realized that I could make a career out of it, it definitely solved something in me. I was looking for what to do. Cape Cod's not the easiest place. It's very expensive. The demographics are skewed. There's not a huge young population. There's not a ton of people that are trying to do something to create that sort of market or that need. Because it's not far to go other places, but I don't know. Golf's the way, man.
Yeah, there's no better place than the golf course. I feel you. I think there's a lot of people that have found our industry that have, felt that feeling that you have. You show up and you're like, this is home for me. I can work here. I can enjoy my life and take care of my family and kind of do it all. So that's awesome. So we'll ask you a little bit more about Pocasset and working there. Is kind of home for you working there since high school. Do you see yourself, being a big part of that course for a long time?
I got married there. My mom
That's
worked
home.
there
That's
before
home
she
for you.
passed away.
Yeah.
It's everything. I mean, they just picked a bunch of my pictures to if all the sizing and everything works, they want to hang a bunch of my pictures up in the clubhouse, like
Wow.
in the restaurant, and blown like really big versions. Um, a lot of the
Okay.
members follow me on Instagram. I mean, I
Oh
talk
yeah.
to a lot of them. Podcast, it's really cool too because it's not a traditional like a Hyannisport or a club that you think of that's ridiculously expensive. I mean, it's still an expensive private club, but it was more approachable earlier on, and it was public for a long time too. Um, so you have a lot more members that are year-round parts of the community. So even though I'm gone from there, like I go to a restaurant and I see 5 or 6 members like that I've now known for 20 years. I mean, these are people I know their kids, I know their parents, I know their extended family, I know their birthdays. I mean, it's just kind of what you get into when you're there for so long. Um, I loved it.
We are back with PhD agronomist Tony Goldsby from the Andersons for our next segment of Ask the Agronomist. Today's question comes in from Turfies at Tate. Can you please explain preferential pathways for water movement through a sand profile?
Well, thank you again, Adam, for having me on the show again this week. And thanks again for all the great questions we've been getting, especially this one from Turfies at Tate today. So, preferential pathways, absolutely. Love to talk about those a little bit. And, when I think about a preferential pathway in the soil profile, I kind of think about a little express lane, if you will, that water is allowed to go through. And if you look at a soil profile, an ideal soil profile, the water kind of moves down through it evenly across all layers before it moves to the next one. Versus when we're talking about preferential pathways, you tend to have like channels from roots or other things disrupting that profile where that water is going to preferentially flow through and it's going to miss filling saturating the soil in the full profile like you'd want it to. So where you really probably run into this a lot, especially in turf management, tends to be those sand-based greens or root zones that you're managing, and really can be a result of organic layering. So if you didn't do a great job of incorporating your top dressing, haven't had a really great chloration program, that can be a one systemic reason to kind of start to see those preferential pathways showing up in your putting surface. Localized compaction is another one. If you had, something that really just compacted the area down, water tends to kind of want to flow around that compacted area versus, through it. And then sometimes, hopefully not in most cases, but if you didn't have a great mix of your USGA, soil media or whatever soil media you were using, you can also potentially have some issues that would, stem from that as well too to create those preferential pathways. So Again, something you want to try to watch out for. And I think, starting from the very beginning, having a really good soil media that you're starting with, that's, a good mix of all the parts we'd want in a USGA mix is going to help to prevent that. And then really you're trying to create what they call a perched water table, right? So it kind of fills the whole layer of soil above it evenly before it percolates down into the next layer. And that's really going to help, prevent that preferential pathway from ever becoming an issue. And then, if you do to, stay on top of it from a maintenance perspective, to stay ahead of it, obviously core aerification, your regular top dressing program, are really important in terms of making sure that keeping that water flowing through, and saturating the whole profile. And then if you need to, especially if you've got some areas that you just can't, get it to penetrate into, that's where wetting agents can certainly come into effect and help, maintain that capillarity and really be able to drive that water, uniformity throughout the whole zone, even in some of those drier areas where it might be a little bit harder without the wetting agent. So that's, I guess, the long and the short of preferential pathways, and certainly something that definitely want to try to be a little bit leery of in terms of when you're designing your soil media and just your overall maintenance program for making sure that water's flowing through just the way you like it.
Awesome. I don't even have anything to say. I just thumbs up. Everybody listen, couldn't see the thumbs up, but that's all I have. Tony, killing it. I think people need to start challenging you. Some of these are turning into softballs for you. You're such a smart guy and so well versed in these areas. So let's get some good questions into Tony and really start digging into some specifics on the golf course. This wraps up another Ask the Agronomist segment featuring PhD agronomist Tony Goldsby.
With being there so long, you got to have some kind of funny story from out there. There's got to be something wild that happened or anything like that. You got any good stories from out there?
was I was thinking about this, and I'm not glorifying any of the things that I'm about to talk about. Okay, and if anybody starts doing any of these things to me, right off the bat, I would say somebody. I'm thinking it's one person who came back for a reunion, but we've had two incidences at Pocasset where someone has pooped in a cup with toilet paper. They wiped. This
Oh,
is
wow.
premeditated pooping. This wasn't. This wasn't like, oh my god, what am I gonna do? Like, because that person probably go in the woods, right?
Yeah, you'd think.
You'd think, but nope. With both times we got in the morning. I was mowing the third green. It was the second green, and the kid who was mowing the second green drives over to me, and he says, "Hey."
I'm in a shitty situation.
Yeah, basically, like, what do I do? There's a poop in the cup. And I said, of like an animal? And he goes, not unless they got thumbs because somebody wiped. And so then, I mean, now I'm
Crazy.
in high school at this point. So, like, definitely not my problem. Not my problem at all. Like,
You're green, your problem,
yeah.
pal.
So we went and got the assistant. And maybe that's why I wanted to get out of being an assistant so bad, just in case somebody came back to poop in a cup again. Um, but they did
Oh,
years later, and I was on 11, the guy was on 12, and he got up to the green, and then he just left. And now this guy was, maybe known for driving around a little bit, so it wasn't totally odd. Then he comes back again with the assistant, and so I go up afterwards and I go, what's up? And he goes, somebody pooped in the cup. And there was 12 years between the two.
did
And
didn't see that on the
opposite
bingo
ends of the
card
golf
today.
course. And so we had poop in the cup. So there's obviously a lot of times where people will put videos or pictures of awful car damage. Someone will get out on the golf course and they'll tear it up. They'll be doing donuts. They'll be doing everything. Now, knock on wood, thankfully, haven't seen that. We've seen some bike damage, just like kids on bikes, jamming on the brakes. But we did find a car one day. We go to
Go
mow one of the
on.
practice greens. We go to mow one of the practice greens, and you drive by and you see that somebody had hit one of the columns on the portico. And so you're like, all right, well, text the super so that he can get in touch with the pro. And then you come up over the hill, and our practice facility is a big green, small green bunker. There is a gold car in the bunker, and I'll
Had to be
send you guys the
gold.
picture.
Had to be
It
gold.
had to be gold. It was a gold, like an Escort or something. It was small, and it was just cockeyed in the bunker. Go up, knock on the window. Lady's like, "Oh, sorry." Like the cops come. She breathalyzed fine. She was sober at that point. I mean, she had just slept in her car for 6 hours. But I guess on her way home, she made it to the golf course. She was new to the area. She didn't know her way around. Somehow couldn't figure out how to turn her headlights on. She made it into the practice facility, and you could now, the sun's up, you could see the tracks. There were tracks across the green, back across the green, but like super slow. She was crawling. There was no damage whatsoever. It was just the removal of the dew. Back across the green, over the little chipping green, bang, down into the bunker. And she said, when I got to I didn't even know where I was. I figured once I was here, I'll just wait until somebody finds me.
She's like, "You guys see a Callaway over here?"
Yeah.
And like they had to come in, they had to get the wrecker in there. Luckily, it was next to the parking lot. It was where we enter all the big equipment anyway, so it wasn't like we had to, prep the course for a wrecker to come across. But and then we always laugh because up the street, you turn right at the Massachusetts Mental Hospital, an inpatient or outpatient mental facility, and every once in a while we'd get a wanderer, and you
Peter
know
McGavin's out.
Yeah. Just
and
in a
you'd be
sheet.
talking to them, and all of a sudden they're talking conspiracy theory. There was one guy who was well known to restart a conversation after like 3 or 4 minutes, like hard reset, like you had
Wow.
never seen him before. 51st dates, like the whole 9 yards. And the first time I ever experienced it was the wildest thing. Middle of my sentence, he just started all over again with his, you know, beautiful day we're having. And I was like, yeah, no, you said that. And like, I hadn't been told, I'm not putting two and two together. I'm like, yeah, that's a weird way to tell me to stop talking so much. Like, and then like 3 or 4 minutes later, he was in the middle of a sentence, bang, done. Beautiful day we're having today. And I was like, well, I gotta go. I gotta see you later. Like, I gotta get out of here.
Sir, do you have any toilet paper on you?
Yeah. And
So,
just, I mean, you name it, every story in between.
well, was this the same course where the cops showed up in the middle of the night? Somebody was fishing for golf balls?
Yeah. So I was fishing for golf balls. Now I parked my car at the end of our maintenance road in front of the gate. Me and three of my friends were ball hawking. So we're down there. We go through the ponds. We obviously ball hawk for too long, and it's really late. And it's dark out, and we didn't bring a flashlight because we're the smartest 17-year-olds on earth. And we get back to our cars, and I start, doing the famous pocket pat, and there's nothing, no keys. I say, uh-oh, because I'm parked behind my friend. And so we go out looking, and we look around the ponds, we can't find them. We look everywhere, we can't find them. Well, I'll go ask one of the neighbors, hey, do you have a flashlight? Because it's pitch black. And I go up to a house, I knock on the door, and I see some lights come on, and I see some action, and then see a couple people peek down the stairs. I knock on the door and I give them a wave. And a couple minutes later, I'm thinking they're just getting dressed. Nope, cops come up behind me. Now, I'm muck ridden. Like, I am just mud up to my waist. I'm in wader boots, like to the knee with the straps. I'm legitimately now looking at myself, look like a serial killer. And
I mean, the
my
cops got flashlights.
The cops did have flashlights, and I begged them. I begged them to come help me look for my keys. They didn't believe me for a second. We walked out back behind the house, and I was like, "The pond's right over there." And he's like, no way, no way. Get in the back of the car." And it wasn't until he pats me down. While I was looking for my keys, I also found some more golf balls. So I stuffed them in my pocket, and he found, my pockets are to the brim with golf balls. So now he's starting to maybe believe me. And then I get, put in the back of the cop car, handcuffed,
So
and
unnecessary.
Golf balls everywhere.
golf balls start coming out of my pockets. They are on the hard plastic seat. Dude, every time he took a turn, it was just like, blah, 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 blah. Blah, 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 blah,
Yeah.
blah, blah. And he's so mad. Him and his partner are furious. They're so mad at me. They decided to just believe me. And apparently, because I was like, just take a right, take another right. And my car is one street over. And they brought me over, and my friend was still waiting. They had finally got their car around mine. So they let me go. I get a ride home. I figure, I have a spare key, or I'll call a locksmith, whatever, but I'll, get to work early so I can explain to everybody, what happened. I'm really sorry. Well, did I wake up from my alarm? No, no, I didn't wake up from my alarm. So not only was I not there early to explain to people what happened, I was actually there late.
Oh man.
And everyone had to park in the pro shop parking lot across the golf course and get ferried over. And my superintendent at the time drove me around to look around the ponds. Like, and at this point, I'm just like flogging myself looking around these ponds for the keys. And I'm in the back of his little electric carryall. And this was the day I found out they had weight limits. For 10 years, I said that he hit the latch on me, but no, I'm just bouncing around looking backwards. I hear click, and then all of a sudden, I'm not moving. And the sound of the cards getting further away. I hit my tailbone so hard, man. I haven't lost keys since. That was the last time I ever
Yeah.
lost keys.
Got him
And
on a
then
rope now.
I come back in January. There's still seasonal at that time. I came back in January to talk to him about the next season. Over the winter, kids had been fishing for balls in the pond and found my keys in the pond. They were
Wow.
hanging up on the board.
Ready to go.
All that. What I do for golf balls, man. Like
That's an all-timer.
mhm.
All-timer.
I can't believe the cops put you in the car for knocking on a door. That seems a little silly.
Looking like I know
Yeah.
what you did last summer, though. Like it was
Nah.
bad.
Especially with the, hey, can you come down the stairs and open the door?
Yeah, yeah, they were an old couple. I could see it. Didn't make me any less mad at the time, but that was really that was
That's a
so
good one.
funny.
That's a
Just
good
the
one.
sound of the golf balls going across the plastic seat lives rent free in my brain, and the cops just fume steam out of their ears. Just-
Yeah, you ruined their coffee break.
yeah. Hmm.
That's incredible.
I hope you are enjoying another episode of Turf Today. Hi, I'm Matt Pauli with Standard Golf Company, and we are a proud supporter of Turf Today and golf course superintendents around the world. Standard Golf is the leading manufacturer of golf course accessories, such as cups, flags, flag sticks, tee markers, bunker rates, driving range equipment, and all the maintenance tools you need to maintain a beautiful golf course. From tee to green and everything in between, Standard Golf is your premier accessories and maintenance tool provider. And now, back to your episode of Turf Today.
So making the transition to superintendent, and we talk a lot about leadership. Tell us a little bit about your leadership style, some of the things you like to do with your crew and the, kind of inspiration where that came from.
I've worked a lot of jobs. I've worked for a lot of bosses. I've seen a lot of styles. I'm not a yeller. I never responded to it. Um, I like to teach a lot. always wanted to learn more. I wanted people to take me aside and tell me, why are you doing this? Why am I doing what I'm doing? I mean, I go back to, you know, all the times I had to weed whack around bunkers or fill divots for 6 hours under the hot sun in the fairways or, any number of the jobs that we do. Why was I in the pond plucking out phragmites? Why on any of it? And I've found that if you can explain that to people, give them a little bit more knowledge as to why they're doing something and what they can expect out of it and why it is important and not just busy work, they respond to that really well. Um, and I'm just really applying what worked with me. I mean, I had a lot of people that have meant a lot to me in the golf industry. Guys I've worked with, guys that I've met through Instagram, at trade shows, through the association, you name it. I just, try and see what works and try to apply it. I mean, Pocassa was a little more regimented, where, the superintendent was doing all of this high level, you know, stuff with all the meetings and the membership and, a much larger budget. This is the public executive, kind of what Anthony had been talking about. Like, this is the down and dirty. Like, this is when every piece of trash is your job. Every time a nozzle breaks is your job. A head won't come on, a head won't shut off. That's your job. That's your ass. That's your reputation. That's what people think of you, your product, your golf course. With social media the way that it is, doesn't take a lot for someone to think that you stink. And for a bunch of other people to bandwagon on behind it. And like now all of a sudden you've, ruined the impression for however many people. It doesn't matter. You're in a service industry. You're trying to give people the product that they're looking for. I always equate a golf course to a restaurant. Always. That's the easiest thing, and it helps people really to understand. Like, would you do this in a restaurant? Would you knock a plate off of a table and then just laugh and turn away and not even pretend? I mean, to like, oh no, let me get that, and someone runs up and says, no, we'll like, it's the ball mark fixing, it's the, replacing your divot. And like, if you took a chunk out of a table, would you just would you just leave it there? Like, if you knocked the table over, would you just walk by? Like, and people do. But as far as, managing people, I've found making that connection to something maybe they're a lot more familiar with. Maybe even they worked in a restaurant when they were younger, and they can kind of start to see it less as a golf course, like in more of a business that needs to have a product every day. And on the Cape, it's, 6 months. We're open year round, but I mean, when the kids are out of school is when we're making our money. That's, the tournaments, the vacations, that's when we're turning and burning. And it's hard and it's hot, and, it helps to buy waters and Gatorades and, just be mindful. My wife's a therapist, so, mindfulness is important, something I've learned, and, work-life balance and treating yourself right. And, I can see it in the industry being a big thing coming up, as people caring about themselves. You care about the golf course so much, but it hurts you and the golf course if you're not doing well.
Yeah, that's something that really kind of took me away from it. I couldn't separate myself from the course. I had the course completely consumed my life, and it's not good. So it's good that you can get an outlet and get that separation, and hopefully everyone else can kind of take a bite from what you just said there, and really be able to apply that. It's super tough to do. It's way harder than you think, but it's something
The
that's
job,
massively important. Yeah, you got to be able to separate life and work
the
and
job I
be
left for golf was that for me. It
yeah.
was all encompassing. It was all day, every day. It was Like morning, noon, and night, every decision I made was based off of that. And you can't do it. You don't put out your
Nope.
best product.
Exactly.
You just mentioned that something there. You're thinking maybe this is something that we put more attention to, and maybe, what we see in golf, there's a lot more younger people playing golf in the middle of the day just because everyone's schedules are a lot more flexible with work. But for a superintendent, taking time off, taking a break is hard. How do you try and balance all of that?
You look ahead, you definitely pick your times that, I recognize a lot of people around me that I grew up watching had timeshares. And it kind of helped them to put the club in a corner of, well, I have to go on vacation this week because it's my time. It's my timeshare. Like, do you expect me not to ever go on vacation? Like, this is the week I can do it. And it's this week in October and this week in April. Like, if you want to keep talking, I can make it in June. Like, but like I saw them be very reasonable about it, but they also had to take that approach of having it be a timeshare where it had to be then. I'm seeing more now of like my kids going to play in a really important baseball tournament. Like the course is going to survive. If you're teaching your guys on a day-to-day basis to help create this vision, then you should be able to take the day off. If you're giving people a bunch of jobs just to go do and they're constantly looking for you for jobs, it's harder. The higher up you go, the more money being spent is harder. The less money being spent is harder. I mean, I'm just going to keep talking until I haven't offended anybody. Like everything is hard. Like it really is.
Well, it's the goal of push and delegate. You got to trust your crew. You got to trust the guys to go and get the job done
Yeah.
correctly. And that's something that I've worked for guys who are great at it. I've worked for people who suck at it. And like, being able to do that is just, it's huge. That's how you have a functional crew is be able to teach, delegate, and trust is kind of like, to me, like the three pillars of being a superintendent. You really have to be able to do that. And you gotta have the guys gotta have belief in themselves too. Like they gotta be confident to be able to do
Mhm.
something. I dealt with a lot of younger kids that were nervous to do stuff, and I was like, "No, dude, you got it. Like I'm just gonna watch you do it, and you're good." And like you give them a few rounds of
Yeah.
doing it, especially like changing a head, especially if something's under pressure or something like that. They freak out, and I don't want to get
Okay.
hurt, brr. And just watch someone get
No.
blasted in the face. But it's just like, dude, you'll be fine. And just, and then once they get that confidence, then it changes the whole bit and it's nice. I envy you being able to separate yourself from it and be able to do that. I never could. Anytime I left, it was like a magic trick. It was as soon as I leave them in the airport, phone call. I
Yeah.
land,
On the
phone
road,
call.
phone
Like,
call.
oh my God. It was just like, oh, there's my phone going. I know exactly what it is.
Yeah, and it doesn't always work. I was supposed to play golf this past Monday for an association tournament. And we have an outside contractor that comes in to help with irrigation, um, mostly wire tracing. We don't have any of the tracing tools.
Yep, the wire
And,
wizards.
I've some of them I've been so desperate for them to work, I've actually dug back like 5, 10, 15 feet just in the hopes that I stumble on it. Like, but when that doesn't work, we have to bring them in. Um, and I've just been waiting and waiting and waiting for him. And Monday was the day he could come. And so I had to, I give up the one for the golf course because again, that's my reputation. That's, I
That's
stake
why
a
you got the
claim on
job.
that. That's what's important to me. Now, might I look ahead and find another really cool tournament that I'm definitely going to play in and I'm going to make sure that everybody on earth knows it and then a meteor would have to hit for me to stop, like sure. And that's the give and take. Like I will find my time. I have gone on vacation. I have gone to the beach. I've been on the boat. I will find the time. I'm not, you know,
Just get ready to come back to shit in a cup.
yeah. Yeah, don't ask me Tuesday at like 10:30 in the morning though. Like the answer will be definitely different. But in the afternoon on a Thursday, yeah, feeling weekendy.
There you go.
Nice. Well, we got to ask you about getting married on the golf course. You and I share that bond. My wife and I got married years ago on the course. So what was that like? Did you have a big setup?
Well, so my mom worked at the bar. So coincidentally, it was the only time that I didn't work at Pocasset was when I got married
They had to
there.
bring you back for something, right?
They had to bring me back. So we were looking around at potential places. The Cape is a destination spot. So you add destination, vacation, and wedding all into one, and now all of a sudden the wedding costs $50,000. Well, Pocasset could do it for less than that. And they had some good dates available, and so we just did it. We had 100 people, a little less than like 92.
That's 100. Just round it up.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Someone gets
yeah,
drunk enough for two.
yep. And so we had the wedding out on the porch, which just fit everybody. They got it all set up nice. And then we did our pictures, and we wanted to take pictures out on the golf course, and they came out beautiful. And so now I do apologize for this, but I did bring my wife out on the green in teals, like, and she
You're just early aerating. It's fine.
Yeah.
she
Yeah. Just
needle
one chance to
timed.
do it.
Yeah,
She
needle
needle
time.
timed a couple areas.
Yeah. Go
It's all
step on
good.
this
Yeah.
high
Um,
plug,
Yeah,
honey.
babe. Yeah, there's a hot
yeah,
spot right there, babe. Can you step over there?
yeah. So I have one of the busboys that had come back just for the wedding because a few of the people that worked there were in the wedding. My close family and whatnot. Like, so we had to bring people back that hadn't worked there, and so I went up to him. I slipped him some cash, and I gave him a ball mark fixer. And I'm like, hey man, I need you to go out to the fifth green, okay, and I need you to take care of a wee little problem that I caused. um, but yeah, no, we did that, and it was such a nice night. That was the best, and to have it there, and yeah, it's beautiful.
Championship conditions don't come easy. They're earned through long days, careful choices, and products you can count on. That's why superintendents turn to the Andersons. From innovative nutrition to soils that unlock a course's full potential, they're here to help you push the limits of what turf can be. The Andersons, supporting the stewards of the game and the surfaces where greatness is made. Tell us about the lightning video. That was one of your first viral videos,
Yeah,
eh?
so that was crazy. I left. I was taking a half a day because it was pouring buckets, and I had just made it around, basically down the side of the golf course, and it hit so hard it shook my truck. Like I turned around immediately. There's no doubt in my mind, and I go back to just chaos. So we had a dry barn that had electrical outlets in it, and the electricity had gone through and blew out the outlets. So all the kids and stuff that were still in there had seen that. The assistant had gone into the irrigation room and had unplugged all of the stuff out of the computer and whatnot, and he had just stepped away from the boards when it hit and came through. He was 10 feet away looking at it, thinking, should I undo this one more thing? And one of the little transistors popped off, came, burned through his jacket, and was in the process of burning through his shirt. So
Holy smokes.
we get in carts and we go up, like, where did it hit? Where did it hit? I think it hit over there. So, I've got my phone out. I got the Samsung with the 100x zoom. I'm just going tree by tree by tree by tree. And then finally I can see this thing up on the hill, very top of the hill, and it's just a naked tree. So I take a cart up there, and it had gone right down through, blew the tree into 5 distinct pieces that
Dang.
traveled the whole length of them. It shook off most of the limbs. Um, and then it went down to a head, entered, and that's where it entered into the system. It put that head like 150 yards down the fairway, blew all the
Jeez.
copper out of it, like just everything, smithereens. The
Nice
solenoid
little eight
was in
iron.
1,000 pieces, and it traveled the system and absolutely rocked us um, for the second. But yeah, that was fun. That was. I found out that was ball lightning, which comes from the outside of a storm, and it got pulled down. Oh yeah, no, I mean, it went viral on Instagram and TikTok, and I had meteorologists and like just the other day, like U.S. weather or something hit me up and said, "Can we use your lightning video?" It's like, yeah,
Nice.
sure, sure. Like it's
Hey,
still doing numbers this day. Something about it.
That's
it's an
incredible.
explosive day.
So speaking of lightning, here it goes. We are now going to do our lightning round presented by Flash Weather AI. Your heads up before the skies light up and download their new app today. So quick answers here from you, Daniel. I've got 5 good ones for you.
Quick.
Favorite smell on the golf course?
When you water something that hasn't got water recently.
Yes, that's a good one. I like that one.
Hmm.
A task you could happily do all day long.
Edging,
Edging?
Ooh,
anything.
Yeah.
Give me a shovel, give me a linoleum knife, and point me in the direction of the sharpening wheel and send me on my way, baby.
Nice. I like
interesting.
that.
Dirty.
All right.
Mm.
Go to breakfast before work.
Usually nothing. Water.
Water, coffee.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Superintendent right there.
that's right.
Yeah.
Until the Muffin Man shows up, right?
Oh
Yeah.
no.
It's been a while.
Sometimes I'll make, if I'm free, I do a lot of the cooking. I'll do like a breakfast bake or something that I can heat up. Hard boiled eggs are easy, or I do soft boiled. My wife's hard boiled. I'll do that. If it's something I can make ahead of time, I'll grab it. But for the most part, water.
Yeah. It's hard to wake up and actually make something, right? Everybody else is sleeping. Well, it's
Yeah.
that
Oh
early.
yeah.
All right. Last good show that you binge watched.
Josh Gates, Exploration Unknown or Abound. I don't know. My wife was watching it, and then I just stole it from her.
Watch the whole thing.
Yeah, he's cool. He's from Massachusetts. Reminds me kind of an Anthony Bourdain. He's not. He's just
Oh,
showing you things. He's giving his feedback, but it's cool. Yeah, it was just this past weekend.
nice.
Nice. All right. Last one here. If you could time travel for one day, where are you going? Or when are you going? The question should be if you're time traveling. When and where are you going?
Probably see my mom again.
Yeah, that's a good one. That's a good one. Instead
Fireball
of
Friday, baby. Any
Fireball
Friday.
Friday. Love it.
Any Friday. Towards the end, she got pretty frisky.
did she?
And Fireball Friday was her thing. So I go a Friday. Any
That's
of them.
fantastic.
You ever gotten any kind of like awards or anything like that in the industry? Any kind of cool things with the course or yourselves?
I was just featured in the Golf Course Superintendents Association of New England's 100 year book. They just celebrated 100 years as an association. Um, and I got involved with them a few years back. They're really big on, they've been making a move on including more assistants, um, including more mechanics, like really just trying to get more younger people into it to get them, you know, trained up. And they did this big celebration. They made a book, and everybody had sort of a section. So I got to talk about irrigation technology and what it's like moving forward, knowing that all this really cool stuff is on the horizon. I mean, at Pocasset, one of the last things I did was I was part of picking the new system. Um, I promptly then went to a golf course with a 60-year-old system, yeah, so there's that. Other than that, nothing crazy. I've just been on the like even Pocasset. We didn't really hold huge tournaments. We had some pretty big tournaments for us. We're kind of too short for some of the bigger tournaments. But we'd get senior stuff, ladies, mass golf, that kind of thing.
Nice.
I've just always been in the day to day golf, not really, none of the big tournaments that are going to get awards.
There you go. You ever plan on volunteering for any of the big ones that are out there? I think what's usually out in the New England area is that RBC Heritage or whatever, the one that
There's that.
uh
There was the Open, Newport Country Club just held one.
yeah, you
Um,
ever gonna volunteer on any of those staffs for those? Just a little tournament experience or anything like that?
so I'm 0 for 3 on that. I was
Damn.
too late for the
Ah, too late. I
Open.
don't know.
I signed up for Newport, but then I got the superintendent job, and Newport was like a month after that. And then earlier in my career, when I was still probably a little post high school, I tried for TPC Norton, which was it became something else, and now it's switching between two different golf courses.
Hmm.
Uh, but that have that. I tried to get into that, but I didn't. But
Nice.
it's on my list. I mean, I want to. Um,
It is a grind.
Oh yeah,
yeah,
It's a
it
grind.
is.
Yeah.
Something you'll never forget. It's a once in a lifetime experience for sure.
yeah,
And
no,
you're still young. You got lots of opportunities. Lots of
yeah, no, I
opportunities.
do. I had a lot of cool opportunities as an assistant because it was, easier to get to places, and I had, a super that wanted me to experience some of these things, and we were going to send me to Arizona this past year for the national show, but that didn't. Picasso wasn't going to pay for me to go on for somebody else's golf course.
True.
Yeah.
And there's time. I know people who go to a lot of them, so I'll find my way to one. And I
100%.
definitely want. I've already talked to my wife. I mean, I want to volunteer for like a really cool PGA event, and she can just be there. She has
No,
no
There you
yeah.
problem
go.
just
Make a
chilling
trip.
in a hotel. She
Oh yeah.
no issue. Just hitting up DoorDash, baby. That's all
Oh
I
yeah. My wife would be all over that too.
She doesn't need to be at the golf course. She doesn't care. She doesn't.
Just
No,
bring me. Bring me on a trip.
just bring me. Yeah.
Well, we're getting towards the end here. This is usually part of the show where we kind of leave it open to the guests. So the floor is kind of yours. If there's something you'd like to talk about, I know you're big on social media, the Greenskeeper. Everybody follow him. And
Yeah, the sick
also,
lunchbox logo.
oh, unreal logo. Unreal logo.
Uh,
I
okay,
love your
I'll
account.
take lunchbox. It's the cup changing bag.
Oh,
The whole changing bag. Come on,
Yeah.
Trev.
I've been out
It
of the
was
game for
really
a while,
hard to
man.
depict, okay?
Marketing is all about a glance, and I saw
Yep.
lunchbox.
Which fits.
Yeah, why not? Now I'm gonna
Yeah.
look at it again and be like, "Wow, you're a fucking idiot."
Lunchbox.
No, you're not. No, no. Because had you said cup changing bag, you'd be one of a handful of people that ever got it right. And I just
Yeah.
like,
Just got to
whatever.
educate people, right? Just got to tell them,
Yeah.
teach them.
Oh, well, that's why I'm here today, to let you know that that's a cup changing bag up in my.
It's the whole reason I came on the show, just to
Yeah.
explain my
Yeah.
logo.
I have nothing else. I don't know what BS we've been talking about up to this point. I wanted to talk about that bag, and you knew it.
Just cut the whole show. It's just 30 seconds.
Yeah. No, so I would like to talk about something that just came out the other day. So another account to follow would be NE Golf Supers, which I help run, which is the New England Association's Instagram page. And we posted about it. The Assistants Committee, which is a committee, if you can imagine, is made up of assistants. To use the words to describe it. They just started a scholarship to send people to UMass Winter School to get turf, their turf certificate, which is what I went and got. And changed my life. I think it's super important, super helpful to get new people in and get them, like you said, trained up. You know, you got to start thinking about being on a golf course. You know, it's different. It's similar to other things, but it's very different. You got to start thinking about things differently. Most people don't think about soil. I talk to, you know, some of the guys about divots, and then I start bringing up soil, and they're like, you know, dirt, right? And like, yeah, like there's a lot more to it than that. Like that's the other half of the equation, in case you're wondering.
Yeah, there
Like,
is some science too.
um, but yeah, any golf scholarship opportunity, I'm gonna try and plug it.
Nice.
I want to see people succeed.
So what about social media? Do you think it's really kind of changed our industry and really helped sort of move things along and sort of shed some light on what we're doing?
I think that it is one big association to kind of stay in that vein. I've met a lot of people through my Instagram across the country, across the world, close by. Um, Oftentimes, it's the easiest way to get a hold of people that are
True.
around you. I'll go to Instagram DMs real quick to hit up the superintendent down the street if I need something. Like it's made a huge difference. I think it's made a really big difference in giving some confidence to people as they come up in turf, younger people that start posting, as I was, that I see other people doing. Rich was on here through the keeper's eye. He starts posting. I found that as I was posting and having to come up with something to write, I was, you know, doing my homework. Like I was being tricked into doing my homework and really learning about these things. And like I came out of it feeling more confident about what I was doing and why I was doing it. And sometimes being challenged by people out there who would, either comment on it or hit you up in the DMs and be like, why are you doing that? I'm like, that's crazy. Um, and it opens your eyes. It shows you how other people are doing things. Um, what matters to other courses. I know a lot of places are more curated in their feed, and I do like to see what they post. It's almost like what they're not posting is speaks louder. Like,
Hmm.
you're always getting these really tight shots. Like, what else is there? What am I like? If you want me to put my work up against yours, like I need kind of a bigger picture. And that, goes back to that perception. I mean, if you sell people a product and you can't back it up, uh, that's your ass.
Yeah, no, the perception is huge. And, the perception of golf with social media has changed because it just people that didn't understand golf or didn't follow golf would just look at it and say, "Well, it's boring, and it's expensive. Why would I do that?" And now people that don't play golf still follow golf online and say, "Wow, it actually is cool and it's exciting and you're out social and you're outside and it's all that good stuff." So, same for turf. It's always been, well, you work early and you work tough hours and you're outside and it's hard. But now you're seeing it online and it's like, man, it looks like fun. Like while you're outside, you're in nature, sunrise, like you're with your friends, free golf. There's a lot of positives. So
Yeah.
it's that perception that we're putting out there that like anybody can do this and enjoy it and it can, be a good pathway for your life and your family. Like hopefully it just continues that way.
Yeah. I've seen a lot of pros about social media and golf. Some cons, don't love always seeing people running into each other and, breaking stuff on purpose. I mean, that hurts from my perspective, but I get it.
The
Whatever.
flip side of it is a lot of those jackasses are finally getting called out.
Yeah, it's
You know,
changing.
Yeah.
it's slowly changed. So I mean, there's a small positive. I'm with you. Like I wish that shit would never be online. It's awful, but
What about the one
they
I
are.
sent you yesterday?
Well, I mean, you already said that one was like right in your backyard.
Isn't that kind of crazy though? Daniel, did you see the
But
one where the guy missed the putt and he tees it up and he hits his driver off the like into the trees and it comes back and goes into the hole?
No.
So that just happened
Pretty
last week, right down the road.
pretty crazy.
Huh.
But
Insane, insane. He just tees it up by the hole. It comes back from the woods into the cup.
goes in.
So I guess the kid's dad saw it online and it blew up and went viral, and he felt so bad about it being like out there in golf and that kids were going to copy it and it happened at their home course and everything. He took the kid back to the course and made him apologize.
There
Like
we
We
go.
for a
we
video
caught
on the golf course.
we caught some kids. They were riding their bikes, and they'd throw their nips and their vapes and knock, they'd steal tee markers and throw them around, and like it just takes time. Like you guys know, we're built on the schedule, and if I
Hmm.
have to take
Yeah.
20 minutes out, that's a big 20 minutes. And
Especially in the morning setup.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
yeah, and so we ended up finding them because these kids will learn this. They went to the course too late and the dew formed around them. And
Nice.
then they went home and their
Yes.
bike tracks right to their back door.
Fucking
Gotcha.
And,
dummies.
we found out who it was. And,
Beat the
uh,
shit out of them.
no, so I was always taught, don't ever give anyone a reason to really come back. If that's what they're doing just for kicks, like
Right.
don't give them a reason to come
Hmm.
back and
So
spite you.
that's when you
So
show up in those waiters again at their front door.
Yeah.
yeah,
Eh.
Looking for a
well,
flashlight.
yeah. Well, that dad wanted them to work at the course.
No
I don't know if they
way.
ended up because it was
Well, good on that
this
dad. I like
Yeah.
past
that.
summer.
That's a great
But
dad
like,
move.
you know, if you want to be on the course so friggin' bad, then go work on it. And then maybe you'll learn why what you did is just a more of a pain in the ass.
Yeah, it's like everyone, they always say, like, everyone should work a waiter position. At
Hmm.
some point in your life, you should be a
Yeah.
waiter or a busboy or something,
Yeah.
just so that you're not that fucking asshole who treats these service people like shit. And it's the same thing with the golf course. You don't
Hmm.
necessarily need to work the golf course to appreciate it, but, if you're in the shoes of those kids or in that mindset, like, yeah, go work on the course and just see what chaos you just caused. Like, it
And you
totally
could be
makes
out
sense.
there. I don't care if you're out there. If I find tracks out there, don't
Yeah,
care.
you're not,
Again, I'm not stopping. I don't have the time to
Yeah.
investigate tracks that lead nowhere.
It's just
yeah,
grass.
yeah,
But if
yeah,
you're
you're,
gonna
you're
break a
not a
glass
cop.
bottle, and I have to sweep glass out of grass, I don't know if you've ever had to do that before, but it's really difficult.
Sounds tough. Yeah.
Like we just cut it out and then brought it over and washed it out. It's so dumb. Just
Jeez.
dumb.
Could you imagine
Dumb and
sucking
time
that into the
consuming.
reels?
Yeah.
Just dust flying out and just sounds
Oof.
like gravel in a blender. Oh man.
Oof. Oh
Oh
man.
Yeah.
man.
Well, Daniel, this has been fantastic, man. We can't thank you enough for carving out a little bit of time for us and joining us today. Sorry again that Brian wasn't here, but I think we had a lot of fun here with our old
No
pal.
worries. Yeah. Awesome. Thank you guys so much. I loved it.
Perfect. Well, take care, brother. We'll
Cheers,
chat soon,
Daniel.
okay?
Yeah. Bye.
And that was Daniel Peterson with a phenomenal interview.
He was really good.
Yeah, that was fun.
Sounds like a really fun but smart guy to work for. A lot of
Yeah,
teaching.
yeah.
Probably takes his time with stuff, errs on the side of caution. I like that.
What it seems like a guy I wouldn't want to piss off.
Probably has that side to him too. Yeah, probably
I
has
think
that side.
everybody does. You kind of got to have it. No, dude, just I love that approach of teach and build confidence in your crew. It's such a good way to go about it, and it's so much harder to do than just to say to do it. Like you got to show it, and you can tell just the sincerity in his voice and the way he describes it. It's absolutely what he does. And I'm sure his crew loves him.
Yeah, it sounds like they have a lot of fun, and he's a good guy, good leader, and it's so cool. I've talked to so many people like this that do different things, and then they find turf, and they're like, oh, why haven't I been doing this forever? Like, and I will do this forever. And it's just they just kind of find their home, and it's perfect.
Yeah, I mean, it's a certain breed, certain breed.
It's a breeding bull. I appreciate you joining me today, buddy. It's a busy time of year for everybody, and I know Brian was pretty pissed he wasn't able to make this one happen. So thanks for jumping in
Well,
last minute and filling in the void.
I'm so curious if there's people who remember how silly the show was beforehand.
It's an old school episode for everybody because, yeah, it's hilarious. There's people right now that are listening to the early episodes and have no idea about Brian or some of the people that we will interview when they get there. And then I
Yeah.
have people that are listening backwards and that will eventually get to you and then like
Who
just
the
see
fuck
where
is
this
this?
fucking show goes.
Who's this cranky asshole?
So yeah, a little bit of an old school episode for you guys today. I hope you enjoyed it. It's fun to mix things up. We do it weekly, so why not, right? Okay, buddy.
That
Well,
pause
say hi to
killed me.
Jacqueline for me.
Word.
We'll chat soon.
Do you remember your old sign off? Because I don't hear you saying it.
Yeah, but I usually do it. I record it later,
Well,
but we can
that's
do it
not
today.
fun. That's not how we've done this.
Okay. Well, buddy, thanks a lot for joining us today. We'll chat soon. Everybody out there, keep your reels sharp.
And keep your cups poop clean, poop free.
Poop free. Jesus Christ. All right, guys. Have a good week.
Bye. So dumb.
That's going to do it for us this week, folks. I am packing this microphone up as soon as I hit the end recording button on this. And it's getting packed up for a week. So we're taking a week off, but we have a banked episode of Rolling with the Green section, the USGA agronomists, which we will put out next week. And that one is amazing. There is 2 smoking interviews in that episode. And I can't wait for you guys to get to hear that one. But yes, we're taking a week off. You're going to have an episode to listen to. I'm trying to get my life back together here with us moving. And we have some really awesome interviews. I talked to Brian today. We're so excited about some of these interviews we have coming up. A couple of things we've already talked about on the show. I can't even give anything away, but we got some really good ones coming up. I cannot wait. Everybody, have a great couple weeks. Keep pushing through everything that's going on right now. We love you guys. We appreciate everything that you have done for Turf Today. I say that from the bottom of my heart.